Go look at our last month's video as well with the eclipses, but also we talked about Jupiter in Aries. So there's a lot about Jupiter in Aries already, but now Mars entered Aries and now they're conjunct as well. So we're going to have a we're going to have a lot of fire energy, fired up people, fired up energy. People are going to, well, if I'm being really honest with you, people are going to want to fight. And but fighting always isn't a bad thing, guys. Like we said, right now we talked about boundaries and those narcissists. It's a good time if you are in a situation right now. The one of the reasons we even shared this part is I'm in a situation like that, and like I'm literally using this Mars in Aries, Mars conjunct Jupiter, to put up those boundaries and really be in a firm place with all of this, and it's helping. The fiery side comes out, the soldier, the warrior of the Mars, and Aries comes out. So you can use this. Please use this in a proper way. So what I mean by proper way is, using it for ambition, using it for taking action, for initiating things, initiating new things. Yes, on a global scale, global sphere. Now, maybe the troubles come in of, okay, we will have an increase of conflict, we will have an increase in violence, we will have an increase in fires. Unfortunately, I do see this happening more like, nature fires, forest fires, physical injuries, unfortunately, more cuts as well to the body. But again, the cutting off side of Mars can be used. If you have somebody, I think Donnie really speaks a lot about this, and I've jumped on the bandwagon with this as well, because it's really good energy. If you need to cut off something or someone from your life as well, you have more courage, you have more balls to do it, actually. Let's put it that way. And a couple of manifestations I wanted to add to this are more desire for fitness, exercise, movement, generally like moving the body, taking action with the body. Obviously, if you have something, stopping you a little bit in the natal chart, you can feel it a little less, but the energy should be moving inside of you, and you want to put it out there as well, and you have the courage to do it. A lot of sexual energy, raw sexual energy. I would say, again, it has to be channeled correctly. Some things, other things, can take courageous action towards future plans that you actually desire, want. Ambition rises for the future goals. More conflict with foreigners, unfortunately, can happen. Men and masculine type women, you will receive, I would say, more of a boost. We can say luck and energy as well. Now, I want to say about independence. Independence is important. The desire for independence, being more independent in all areas of life, usually comes with this energy as well. But it can lead to, if you don't, because Jupiter expands everything so much, please be careful with the fact of selfishness, basically, is what I'm saying. Don't be selfish. Be independent, but don't be selfish. More boldness. Can mean physical, verbal fights, verbal aggression, and I think Donnie already mentioned this before or in the video beginning. It's like almost this kind of feeling of, I've had enough of this shit, and now I'm taking an action. I'm taking some courageous action towards the actual thing that I want and how the thing should be in my life. So this is very much, I would say also, I want to say it's a very kind of like inspiring type of energy as well, to take physical, material action, courageous action in your life. I think that's what I wanted to say about this.
Great. Because if I think about Mars and Jupiter in Aries, Mars is definitely the more stronger planet in its home sign. And this can really give rise to enthusiastic action, which often imbues what we do, and also it also enhances our possibility of success. And because Aries is really like, I think in tarot is the which tarot card talks about Aries? Is it the Fool or the Chariot?
This is where you are, I think. I'm
yeah,
not
maybe you
super
can
tarot.
put inside the I know it's something to do with movement, and it can be very because of course in Aries it really gives us the the outlook of, like a baby, like a child, even if you fall down, you just stand right back up and just keep going. And so it's that kind of gusto and bravado energy and a lot of like courage to do things. And with that, it also helps in being confident in our ability to be, to effectively exert ourselves. And this can be because we have that self-belief and self-esteem and self-confidence in our competence, in what we are trying to do. Or, but however, I need to point out that this can also be our downfall and lead to failure because of overestimation of our energy and abilities, or there's a misestimation of circumstances. You may also tend to overdo stuff or something, or go too far with things. I've seen over here in Singapore, there's actually this thing called the coffee shops, and that like or hawker centers or food courts, and there's a disproportionate increase in news of, we call them uncles or middle-aged men. Their chest so puffed, and they're like, so like, you know what I mean? And they like start fighting and throwing chairs, and I was like, okay, that's when I know on a personal level that, Mars and Jupiter energy is really building. And it's also to engage in destructive excess. But however, it also gives you that ability to really negotiate for what you want with a very assertive kind of manner. And you also find that Mars and Jupiter together, there'll be this kind of active and assertive reaching out to others in generous and exuberant fashion. It's a fire sign, and it's also continuing to enlarge our viewpoint and understanding as a means of learning from conflicts, because Jupiter is the greater teacher. And Mars in Aries is via conflicts, you learn the higher wisdom. Hopefully, if you can harness this energy properly, it can also overcome your own destructive impulses. But I know with so much fire, it's hard to. But thank God Venus officially exited Aries into Taurus. So this can be like a cushion or landing pad to kind of counteract that, Mars and Jupiter in Aries. Just look out for righteous action. That you're not going into the territory of bulldozing others or becoming like a blatant bully. People may be fighting more for their beliefs, and also over zealousness and fanaticism. I guess if you just search for a clip of, outside the courtroom, when Johnny Depp went into court, how people reacted versus, misheard. It's almost like this. When it's in Aries, I need to mention that our sensitivity chip and capacity for compassion and understanding from the other end of the spectrum may be missing. We may be just very self-focused and directed in our way of putting out how we see things. Because the thing is that it's hard to see the deeper sides of the matter when there's like so charged up is Aries energy, and there's so and it's so much to, and it's because Aries is like the I am principle, and there's so much acting forth energy that you may act before you think things through.